Welcome back to this already the final segment of The Price of Business, and I am your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Great show today. Always look forward to the show each and every day. And we're wrapping up today's program with an interesting segment with our friend Charles Alvarez. And he brought Bill Bailey home to do a conversation with us. How are you, Charles?
I'm doing great, Kevin. How are you?
Good. Charles is with Cornerstone Business Academy. That's cornerstonebusinessacademy.com. They are incredible at helping businesses grow, helping businesses develop and to reach the next level. And I know from firsthand experience, I've seen the work that Charles does, and I can always recommend him without reservation. And want to add anything to that before you introduce our guest today?
No, I appreciate the sentiments, and I'm excited to have Bill Bailey, which you must have gone really deep into the archives to find that song, my friend.
Yes, we did, and it's not everyone who gets Ella Fitzgerald to introduce them on the radio. Congratulations, Bill.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with y'all today and talk about the growth that Synacor Foundation has experienced over the last few years.
Well, before you get into that, why don't you kind of give us the elevator speech, if you will, about Synacor?
Gladly. Synacor has been around since 1967. We're one of the oldest and largest drug and alcohol treatment programs in the state of Texas. Currently, we have over 700 licensed residential beds and provide outpatient services from Fort Worth all the way down to Houston over to Baton Rouge. So on any given week, we touch over 1,000 lives of people that are suffering with drug and alcohol addiction. Our services may be as short as detox, medical supported detox for 2 days to 5 days, and some of our clients stay with us for as long as 2 years.
Wow, that's interesting. Go ahead, Charles.
So, Bill, kind of walk me through. I know that there's, quite a few, well, not quite a few. I mean, your industry better than I do, but I know that there's quite a few different types of organizations out there that do something similar that y'all do. However, you have by far exceeded all of them. What is it that you do that is so much better, so much more effective than some other organizations out there doing similar stuff?
That is really a very simplistic answer. We have very clear goals. Our organization is built on a strategic plan. It's built around 5 pillars of culture, quality, people, stakeholders, and growth. And under that, we have very specific goals that we have established as an organization with one staff person assigned to each one of those underlying goals, and we report our progress every 90 days to our board. So we have been able to bring clarity to our mission and what we're trying to accomplish, and by doing that, it gives us a very clear direction of how to do that. It's kind of like any team sport. If you don't know what the play is, you don't know which direction everybody's going, and our organization is very focused on achieving our goals.
Yeah, and you guys are like the pioneers at this, aren't you? You were doing it way before it was cool.
I'd like to think we were. We've had a very clear plan. I've been with Synacor Foundation since 2004. I came from a healthcare center and brought that kind of level of clarity and goal establishment to the organization. And it's really been very beneficial because most organizations in our field are less than $2 million in revenue, over 80%. And Synacor Foundation is approaching $24 million in revenue. So this kind of clarity has really helped us bring our goals together, giving us the kind of growth that we've seen, because we've literally doubled about every 3 years for the last 6 to 8 years.
Yeah, that's interesting. Charles?
So kind of give us an idea. Obviously you're dealing with situations that are very difficult, puts a lot of strain on the family. How would you suggest that somebody reach out to you? What would you talk to that family, to that mom or to dad, or to where their sons or daughters are experiencing this kind of issue? What would you tell them, and how would you coach them on how to come and approach you, and how to approach their teenagers about actually getting involved with Synacor?
Well, 2 separate questions. First, the easiest is to go to 1-888-SYNACOR, which calls directly into our Access Center, which we have trained professionals that are able to do brief interviews with the individual, brief assessments to determine what level of care they may need, and then to find our closest facility to them. Additionally, they can go to our website, which is www.Cenikor.org, and see a lot of information about the organization on our website. To answer your second part of your question, how do you approach a loved one that this may be an option for them, is realizing up front that a lot of people don't think they have a real issue, and it takes some time. Often, unfortunately, it takes a significant event in their life to realize they may need this, and often that significant event is law enforcement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stories of that. You talk about in the drug and alcohol arena, hitting bottom. You got to hit your bottom before you have something to build up on. And so for many people, that makes perfect sense. Unfortunately, for some people, death itself is their bottom. And so being in trouble with the law is a good thing compared to some of the other things you can be in.
It really can. And often law enforcement is not there to be punitive, if you will. They're there to try to help the individual. We have a number of judges, probation, and the like that actively work to help encourage people to come in for treatment. And we've seen them remove criminal record history when they complete drug treatment, because purpose is to help people gain meaningful life and become a supporting member of society, not just to be a tax user, but to become a taxpayer.
Yeah, no question about that. Charles?
So, Bill, kind of give us an idea. I know that this probably doesn't, quote-unquote, help you. I know that it does, because you're looking, to really help society, and that you do a great service. What advice would you give to parents on how to proactively prevent them from having an issue in the first place?
Be active in their child's life. And when you hear a story from your child that doesn't make sense, take the time to care. When they say they're going to a friend's house and for whatever reason you find out they're not there, then don't just brush it to the side. Understand, when you see grades falling, there's a reason. And too often kids, they want attention. They want somebody to stop and pay attention to them. They may not verbalize it. We run an adolescent program that's an inpatient program that starts at age 13 and goes up to, adults when they then go into our adult residential programs. We also do outpatient. And, it's very common that kids end up in trouble often because they don't have the support system at home, and so they seek it elsewhere. Sometimes their home life is very challenged, and they're trying to find some place that accepts them for them.
Yeah, looking for love in all the wrong places, I guess. It's very apropos here in this situation. I noticed you're a Red Raider.
I am.
You went to Texas Tech. I'm a West Texas guy, too, went to Abilene Christian University. So that's an interesting background. Your background, it looked like you initially were looking at a career in real estate with your degree. Tell us how it evolved to where you are today.
Well, I always like to say that God dreams much bigger than I dream, and I've had a varied background. As you said, I've worked in real estate, had a commercial real estate broker's license, worked in banking, I've worked in different private industry, and have worked in higher education. What's interesting is that Cinecor Foundation owns over 350,000 square feet of buildings in 10 different locations. Mm-hmm. And so I find myself often being a real estate attorney, if you will, not practicing, but it's very helpful to be able to read leases and contracts and to understand what we're doing with the amount of square footage we have. In fact, we're in the process of building rehabbing a building in Tyler. We're halfway through that project. We'll be starting one in Austin this month. And unfortunately, our adolescent program here in Houston took 4 inches of water Tuesday. Yeah. And we had to locate the kids over to our adult facility, moved them back 2 days later, and we're now about to go into construction on it because we've got to rip all the walls out to remove all the damaged sheetrock and everything.
Yeah, so, it was tough. So you're the CEO of all of the campuses?
Of all the campuses.
That's great. All right. We got about a minute left. Why don't you wrap it up for us? And by the way, Cinecor is spelled Cenikor. So if you want to call 800 Cinecor, you need to know it's Cenikor. And you want to look it up online at cinecor.org. And you want to say something real quick?
It's 888.
Yeah, 888 Cinecor. That's right. All right, final thoughts with about a minute left there. Charles?
Well, I mean, nobody wants to deal with a teenager that's going through such a difficult time, but, to you parents out there who are suspecting or have that sixth sense, which most parents do, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you give Bill Bailey at Cinecor a call, because the best time to, this is not something to be messed with. This is something that you want to be proactive with. So So Centocor is definitely the place to go. And Bill, I really, really appreciate you being on our show today.
Yeah, actually, I think most parents are known for their denial rather than their intuitiveness.
I think that's a true statement.
Yeah.
And so quit denying and call Centocor. That's what I would say, because usually by the time the parent gets it, they should have got it way before then, is what I've seen. All right, thanks so much, Bill Bailey, for being with us.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate your time.
He is home today at least, and we're delighted to have him here. A great wrapping up of today's show. Looking forward to being with you tomorrow for another one. Do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdatareview.com. Have a great day. Spend it wisely right here.